Yes, shout out, welcome. It is Ball and Bud Sports and Entertainment back again on millions.co. Yes, we loved it the first time. We are trying it again here a third time after we came back last week. We are now here with an up and coming major fighter in the MMA world, hailing from Queens, New York. Shout out to Queens, Ryan Sipavicius. What's good, brother?
What's up, bro? How are you? Thank you so much
I'm
for having me.
I'm amazing. Please tell me I pronounced your last name correctly.
Perfect on the dot, Sipavicius.
Woo! All right. Before we move into it, you are from Queens. I have to ask: are you a Mets fan?
Um, when I was younger, I was a little bit more into baseball, so yeah, I root for the Mets. I root for the Mets, and then yeah, I like both teams. I like the Yankees. I like the Mets. I'm not a big baseball fan, but if I had to pick one,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
from Flushing, so that's Met. That's Met territory right there.
I
So
was gonna say, yeah, that's the backyard right there.
so yeah, let's go Mets.
Yeah, I am a Mets fan, so I had to ask. We used to have family in Queens, so I
Oh, okay.
became a Mets fan.
All right.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background then and your growing up there.
So my parents are originally from Argentina. They came here late '80s. I was born and raised in Flushing, Queens. Went to high school here. I went to Holy Cross. Then I went away and played Division II soccer at Mercy over in Westchester. I
Mhm.
played 4 years over there, and then my whole life I've been training. I've been training mixed martial arts since I was a toddler. I've been with Tiger Showman since I was 3 years old. So
Yeah.
when it was time to go away to college and play D2, I was I was away from home, so I couldn't really train. I was a little bit inconsistent, and afterwards, I was like, after I graduated college, I was like, man, what am I good at? What do I want to get into? And then I remember I was like, man, I'm good at fighting. I'm good at martial arts. So
Mhm.
that's the route I took after college, and it's been going. It's been smooth sailing, man. Everything's been going really well. Thank the Lord.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And speaking about that, how is your faith played a role in your development as not only a soccer player, a fighter, but as a person and a human?
I've always been Catholic schools, private schools. So it's always been a part of me. Um, but I feel like as I got older, I kind of lost touch with that, with my
Mm.
faith and religion. So recently, past I'd say 2 or 3 fights, camps started getting. I wouldn't say the camps themselves got tougher. The preparation, I think, life just started getting a little bit tougher.
Mm.
It just
Hmm.
happened to be, So I was just, um, I learned how to get closer to God and speak to Him, not just when things are going not so well and I need Him, but when things
Mm.
are going very well, to be thankful as well, and always have gratitude. And I'm always asking that he watches over me when I'm training or in the cage, you know what I mean. So I feel like I've been a lot closer to God and in touch with my faith. So as of recent, it's been more of a part of my life, so I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, I mean, gratitude is very important dealing with those tough life situations that we go through. We all need something to lean on, and I, like you, lean on my faith as well. So it's good that you have that there for you in those tough times, like camp and things like that. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you work in your camp, how you work with your coaching team. We know you just coming off a win at Ring of Combat 87, defeating Dan Welsh by a rear naked choke in the first round. And you're moving into your last amateur fight coming up December 5th. So tell us a little bit about how your camp works in between these fights and how you're going to prepare for your last amateur bout.
So nothing's set in stone yet. This is it's most likely my last amateur fight because most of the guys in my gym, they've gone 3-0 as an amateur MMA fighter, and then they go pro. So I'm already 2-0. I should be, um, if all goes well, 3-0, and then from there we go pro for next year. I'm always down to get another MMA fight, maybe fight for an amateur title before going pro. The more experience, the better.
Hmm.
But after my last fight, so I busted up my foot in my last fight pretty bad. Had a
Okay.
big hematoma on my foot because
Ugh.
I was supposed to fight back-to-back fights October 18th this past Saturday.
Okay.
Had to pull out of that fight because of the injury. And let's say if I didn't get injured, I could already be 3-0 today, speaking to you. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
would have already had that fight Saturday. But God's timing, I got injured. Now I'm back to training. Today was the first day of fight camp, getting back into preparation. So it was like a little switch. You know what I mean? I was hurt, so I was able to pull out of that fight this past Saturday. So up until now, I've just been, relaxing, still watching my diet here and there. But the training hasn't been as intense. Today we got back to headquarters, our gym, and you felt the on switch of like all the guys that were fighting on the same card from the gym. There's like six or seven.
Nice.
So where you felt that on switch, you felt that everybody's ready, locked in, and Shion Schulman's our coach, and he's on it too. Because look, it's a lot of we got a lot of pros and a few amateurs on this card.
Okay.
It's most some of the most up and coming guys from our gym all fighting the same night. So we're all we're taking this very seriously. It's going to be a big night for the gym, for the team.
Yeah, and tell me more about your gym and your coaching team, specifically your coach. How do they play the different roles in your training camps leading up to a fight?
Well, our head coach is Ron Schulman. Um, he accepts the matchups. He pairs us up with guys who he thinks will be a good matchup, will look good on our resume, and he studies them. He does the film. Sometimes we do film
Mm,
with him. He's the Tiger Schulman's head coach,
okay.
but my coach, my sensei since I was younger is Julio Arce, who's in the UFC now, Victory Fight League this coming Friday. And he's a beast. You know what I mean? So me and him will do our film on my guy, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth about game plan. But
Mhm.
Shion Shulman is the one that kind of structures our fight camp, our preparation, who we should be sparring with, guys that kind of have a similar look as our opponent. But it's a team effort. We got Coach Ray Velez who teaches us boxing 2-3 times a week. We got Coach Alex comes in, teaches us wrestling. Sensei Juliana Varicio teaching jiu-jitsu. We have a bunch of guys that come together and
Mhm.
form this big puzzle. You know what I mean? This big puzzle, which is the preparation itself. So it is like a brotherhood. You know what I mean? Everybody that's in Tiger Showman's for the most part has been there their whole
Mhm.
lives. Of course, we have guys come from the outside and they integrate very well. Some don't, some do, like every gym. You know what I mean? But for the most
Yeah.
part, it's a brotherhood and everybody's there for each other. Everybody's there to give you the extra rounds or the extra advice or whatever it may be.
Awesome. And so, if I were to ask, if I were to not have seen you fight or not know anything about you, how would you describe your fighting style to someone who's never seen you compete?
Um, explosive, entertaining.
Mm.
Explosive and entertaining. I'm a bouncy kickboxer. I have a karate background because Tiger Showman's back in the day used to be karate. And then they transitioned
Okay.
to
There you
martial
go.
arts. But I was there when it was, bouncy, a lot of kicks, kick heavy. I'm a soccer player, so I love to kick.
Mm.
But growing up, jujitsu I felt was my strong suit. So I was, now I can finally put it all together. Now it's MMA, so
There you go.
you just kind of never know what's gonna happen. Look, my game plan for my last guy was to knock him out, but the takedown presented itself. So did the submission, and so far 2-0 in MMA, both rear naked chokes. So I'd love to say I'm an explosive striker, but I like to say I like to think I could do it all as well.
Okay.
Be
All right.
explosive, and entertaining. That's all.
I love that. I love that. And so let's talk about your fight is coming up. What about your mindset as you are getting into the cage, as you're in the cage, getting ready to fight, even in the fight? How does your mindset start and adapt as the fight goes on?
Um, I feel like I have a very strong confidence going into my fights. At least,
Mm,
at least for now. This is something I've said before, but um, although it may not be true, I believe in myself, and that's what belief is. It's like, look, the guys at this level, at this regional scene, they got nothing for me. I'm levels
mm,
this, and I see myself already being at the top level of the UFC. I just gotta knock
there
down
you
these
go.
speed bumps. I just gotta get over these speed bumps, but they have nothing for me. You know what I mean? So that kind of confidence, that kind of belief going into the cage is like, I just gotta get this done. However, I think about so many different ways that it could get it done before the fight. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I could take him down. Oh, I can knock him out this way, or I could do this and that. That
Hmm.
way, whatever does happen is almost like not a surprise because anything could happen in a fight. But I like
Right.
to think so many outcomes, and every single one of those outcomes are in my favor. You know what I mean? In my mind. So that's just the mindset I go into. Obviously, like I said, anything could happen in a fight, so you have to be ready to adapt and adjust to whatever your opponent may present to you. Um, and that's kind of what happened in my last fight. I was ready to stand and bang with him, throw a lot of punches and a lot of kicks, but wrestling presented itself, and that's the way we went about it. So, um, but I think having the confidence before the fight is very important. Is so
Mhm.
important. Start to doubt yourself, then I feel like that's an energy you're giving off, and that could become very real and become the situation. You start to panic, and you're not yourself in there anymore. So just being relaxed and confident. That's my biggest thing in the cage. That's my cage. You know what I mean?
Hey, confidence is the key to anything in life, whether you're in a cage or in a job interview. You got to stay confident. And it seems like you exude that confidence. That's really good. And you just mentioned UFC, and you mentioned you think you are already UFC ready. What are your long-term goals? I'm assuming UFC champion, maybe. What are we talking about here? What are we thinking? And I know we don't want to get over our skis, but hey, we all dream. So what are some of those dreams?
Well, yeah, of course. Like get to the UFC. That's minimum. Like I need to get to the league. I know I can get to the league and the big show, and from there, I kind of like you said, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. So I kind of set like short term goals, and then they kind of all
Mm,
build towards the long term goals. Of course, I'd love to say I want to be the best in the world. I want to be champion. Yes, that is somewhere in my mind, but right now it's just win the fight ahead of me, win the fight that I got ahead of me.
mhm,
Um, Even though I know, like I said before, I'm confident that these guys have nothing for me, I'd still treat every opponent like he's the best guy I've ever fought. So I'm
mm,
making sure that I just have my preparation ready and then I'm ready to
mm,
go. Short term goals is to just win each fight. Um, if thinking a little bit further ahead, I want to be in the UFC within 2 years. You know,
okay.
like I said, if this is the last amateur fight, then I could go pro next year. God willing, I stay healthy because I've had a
Mm,
few fights where, again, I get hurt and I have to pull out of the next fight.
right.
So God willing, I stay healthy and I could bang out 4 fights next year. That's 4-0 as a pro. And at that point, it's just maybe 1, 2, 3 more fights until you get a contender series fight. So if we could do it, if we could get there in 2 years and speed run a low career, in 3 to 5 years, who knows? Maybe we could be talking about title contention or top 10. Who knows? You know what I mean? It's God's timing. Anything could happen, but that's the ideal timeline that I have in mind.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, we all know, especially in the fight game, anything can happen. And, God willing, his timing will get you to where you need to be at the time that you need to be there. But it also only makes sense for those goals that you want to be in your mind and you to dream about those things and think
Right.
about those things and manifest those things. And again, you have the confidence to do so. So there's no reason um, to not dream about those things while keeping the current fight and current perspective in mind. So we are wishing you the best in that next fight. Hopefully, all goes well and you do get that victory and are able to go pro. Let's talk a little bit about your merch. You have new merch and brand deals that are coming out. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So lately, I've been doing a lot of social media content stuff, and that's
Okay.
been helping out with
Mm,
a lot with my image, my profile. It was just I initially started it just to build up my profile, who I am, and maybe get a little fan base going before getting to the big show. You know what I mean? So
mhm,
through all that content creation, I started getting a lot of messages from some certain brands and stuff. But one of them being Fighters First. Um, they create merch for a lot of fighters, a lot of local regional fighters that just and that exactly the same idea that I had. Just get their name out there, support local fighters. You know what I mean? Because like fighters in the big show, they're scoring $50,000 bonuses, fight of the night checks and stuff. Local
right.
fighters aren't making that much money, so this guy Mike, he's very cool from Fighters First. He created our merch. It's customized, and of course, it helps out the fighters as well. So that's
Mm,
something I got. The link is actually in my bio to get my merch before my next fight. Also, we got a few other things coming up. I haven't released it yet on Instagram, so this is where people will be hearing it first. But Anaconda Fightwear, they're a very good they're a very good brand for injury prevention, especially in jiu-jitsu. They're very hot right now. Got a brand deal coming up with them, so I'll have a little discount code for you guys in the bio once that releases. So that's very exciting. And I got something else for like a wellness center called Sweat House. They do sauna, cold plunges, vitamin C stuff, and it's essential for recovery. And I'll have a little discount code for you guys in there as well. But those are some exciting things I got going on. Biggest focus right now is the fight, but everything is smooth sailing. Everything's coming together nicely, especially before that pro career.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Congratulations on all of the success thus far. Again, we wish you nothing but continued success. You all can find him. His Instagram is exactly as his name is spelled, no space. Ryan Sipavicius. Yeah. Anywhere else they can find you that you want them to check you out at other than your Instagram?
No, I think I'm mainly on Instagram right now. But that's where they can find me. That's where they can get the links in my bio and a lot of fight announcements through there as well.
Well, there you go. Hey, make sure you all tap in and keep up with the future star, in my opinion. With that type of confidence, you cannot go wrong. Ryan Sipavicius, we appreciate you being on with us here at Ball and Bud Sports and Entertainment on millions.co. Again, stay tuned for him. Check out his page here as well for more interviews and more media. I'm gonna have to get in touch with you myself because I actually teach social media and things like that. So we'll have to
All right,
connect
man.
on that. Yeah. So we can talk further.
All right, we'll talk, man. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Thanks for the support. And thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys in the cage.
Good luck on your fight. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Holla.